time no see. It's been a while since I've seen you all, like, actually in real time. I know I recently dropped the November sale video, but obviously that was from November. That wasn't, like, you know, current, up-to-date type stuff. Anyway, I have said I need to do, like, a sit-down video to catch you up and bounce off ideas, but I haven't had a day off to actually do that, which is part of the discussion we'll have. But in the meantime, it's finally time to do another race day vlog. We have not done one of these in a hot moment, and part of the reason why is obviously I kind of only really had Mikasa for a while as my only racehorse, and she was on vacation, and by technicality I also had Mule, but Mule was also on vacation, and in Happily Ever Afterland we were planning on having Mule ready for the Keeneland spring meet, which is kind of right around the corner, and he was prepping for that, and we were getting really close and we were getting really excited, and now we are currently just twiddling our thumbs waiting to see what exactly the plan is, because we had to take a couple steps back and reevaluate the situation there. It's fine though, because Mikasa was also on vacation and she's been back. She's been doing phenomenally, and she's finally ready for her first race back. It's been about 5-6 months since she's last raced. Now it's been a while. Quick recap. Mikasa was doing really well at Turfway last year. She was undefeated 3 for 3. That's actually where we're headed today, is Turfway. Who is riding on my tail? Okay. Anyway, so that's where we're headed, is Turfway. But she was doing really well. 3 for 3, undefeated over at Turfway. Then she ran and won at Belterra. And then we had the fun issue of it was really hard to find her a race. So the way that these typically work is there is something called a condition book, right? And it has all the races that are going to be potentially run that meet at the racetrack, right? And each race has to have, there's like conditions to the race, right? So there'll be different levels, different qualifications in order for your horse to be entered in for that race, right? And the issue we were having is her conditions we're not filling, so there was not enough horses to run in those races. And the thing is you're probably like, okay, why did you just bump her up a degree? You kind of don't want to necessarily always, like, you can, but it's kind of like do you force the horse to potentially take a bad loss and just run them outside of their class, or do you bump them down and potentially risk someone taking the horse, because that would for her be like a mid-low claiming type race, right? So that was kind of the issue we were running into. We had an idea of where we wanted her. None of those races were filling. And then when we finally got her into a race several months after the fact, she ran like a horse that had significant bit of time off. It's not necessarily good for these horses to just work and not race. And that was kind of the situation that she ended up in. And so she raced twice back in that where they were just like, eh. And it was also the heat of the summer, and we've kind of noticed that she doesn't necessarily do her best races in the heat of the summer. And so we talked about it. We said, okay, let's bring her home and then send her back in time for Turfway. And that's what we did. So the plan, more than likely from now on, obviously there's still a lot of ifs, ands, buts, maybes, whatevers that are going to be happening between when we have originally made our plan to whenever. But from now on, what we will likely do is let her run in the Turfway meet, maybe beginning of Keeneland, Churchill, Belterra, Indiana. But then as soon as it starts getting a little too toasty in the summer, we'll give her summer off, send her back in the fall to get her ready for Turfway again, and just go from there. Because at this stage, I think we have kind of confirmed that more than likely, so she is going to be an added broodmare prospect in the future. So she has kind of just been a reliable, steady enough horse, and we like her enough. We're like, you know what, she's something in the future we might keep for breeding. Ideally, I would like, well, not ideally, I would like for the rest of her siblings to step up and help me out a little bit and do some interesting things. But obviously she's done well enough herself at this point where I wouldn't, like, we've talked about it. She has enough speed and she has enough look and enough class that we can, you know, it's something we can continue to do. Anyway, so obviously if that's the current plan, we're just kind of letting her do her thing. Whenever she wants to retire is when we'll let her. It could be this year, it could be next year, it could be in 5 years. Who knows? So that we're just kind of chilling and waiting to see. That's the whole fun. Anyway, that's a little bit of catch up. We are headed. Oh my god, I'm out of breath. We are headed to Turfway. I think we're going 6 furlongs on the synthetic. I think that's the plan. Admittedly, I kind of didn't really look at the race. I think she's 6-1. I think she's like the 5th choice, 6th choice, something like that. But overall, it's kind of a smaller field, which I was grateful for. Because freaking Turfway can have a huge field. Like, it can easily have 12 horses every day of the week, and they're freaking tough. This one, I think it was like maybe there's 7 or 8. I'm like, whew. And there's a scratch. I was like, look at that, even better. But it is her first race back in a couple months. So I know she likes the track. And actually, fun fact, according to my memories, this time last year is when she had won one of her races over at Turfway. So, obviously, with that being her first race back, I don't necessarily expect her to win. I would love for her to just show a good effort and just kind of show up and just get back into the rhythm of things. I have a feeling this year for her anyway is going to be a bit of a shortened race thing, unless things change. Just because we kind of messed up the timing of how that was our bad thing. That was not a her thing. We should have realized that things were the summer was not going to summer, you know? Anyway, so that's kind of just the gist. Like, I really don't really know who to look for. I'm not really worried about it. All I know is it's freaking raining, and so I'm like driving like a grandma. I say that, I'm going the speed limit, so I'm driving like a grandma. I freaking hate driving in the rain, and I hate driving in the rain in the dark. It's my least favorite thing. But it's fine. We'll get there eventually. But yeah, so ideally, and also, this is the other thing, she's never won a race when I'm there. So there's a good chance I will jinx her by showing up regardless, but I didn't have anything better to do tonight. I have to take a horse to Ashford tomorrow morning for a breeding shed run, but I didn't have anything to do tonight, so I was like, why not? Anyway, I've rambled enough. Let's go see how she does. Fingers crossed it will be at least good, minorly entertaining. She gets her groove back and we're doing awesome. If not, we got more races to go. I don't mind.
Third. And there they go. And Coastline Hottie broke with the leader line. Frango Electrico is also showing pace. And here's Devil of Parody to pick it up. Devil of Parody emerging as the quickest from Coastline Hottie and Gold Delmar from the far outside. Frango Electrico makes a bid into the third spot from the inside. After them races right now, the favorite, Just an Opinion, and Razzle Red is the last of 7. So with the lead is Devil of Parody opening up better than 2.5. Gold Delmar begins the chase as she tries to cut into the margin heading into the turn. Frango Electrico third with Coastline Hottie. And right now has that 5th position, 5 off the lead. Just an Opinion is a good 8 lengths from the pace. Devil of Parody still with the lead. Razzle Red at the back marker. So Devil of Parody is traveling comfortably to the quarter pole. She has led throughout. Frango Electrico makes a bid into second. Gold Delmar begins to retreat just a little. And with the lead, Devil of Parody, she was traveling smoothly, but she comes back to Frango Electrico. Right now, and Coastline Hottie are trying to begin bids to the outside. Up goes Frango Electrico. Right now could be the late threat. She's closing in. Frango Electrico, and right now Frango Electrico. Right now was second, then Coastline Hottie. Devil of Parody backpedals to 4th, and Just an Opinion.
You watched it. Let's talk about it. She is the 4. She breaks a little bit slow out of the gate. However, she recollects, does well, goes to the front. This tends to be where she prefers to be. You can definitely tell that despite having time off, she loves this track. She does really well here. She kind of just sits up front, just nice, easy, relaxed. And this is what she's going to do for the majority of this race. Also, I was like looking at this race later on. There's at least 1 or 2 horses in this race that ran as stake races. So like when I was like, oh yeah, this race is tougher than I realized, it was definitely tougher than I realized. I was honestly surprised that she ended up going off at 5-1. Anyway, we're getting closer to the turn, and she starts opening up a little bit. She's looking really good. The jockey's still sitting nice, cool, calm, collected on her. This does tend to be a track where the closers do well. Listen, depending who you talk to, people are like, oh, you have to have speed. Oh, but the closers do well too. Both are correct. I don't know what else to tell you. Anyway, she takes a little bit of a wonky step somewhere near here. I don't know if she spooked or something, or just, I don't know. She was fine, but she did get a little tired. Not to be too surprising, it's been a while since she last raced, and she did fade off to 4th, but it was a good 4th. So yeah, overall, no complaints. That was a great run. First time back, just a little tired, which is fully to be expected after not having ran in however many months. And also, that was technically tougher company than she had ran in the time before. So definitely no complaints. Anyway, so overall, we had tried to enter her again back at Turfway, and the race didn't go. How rude. That's fine. Turfway is ending soon. I don't know when. Soon. So more than likely, we'll either see her at Keeneland, Belterra, or Indiana, just depending on life. That's all I got to say. Anyway, I'm slightly optimistic. There's been a lot of things happening, obviously, but I am optimistic. He's like staring at me like what did he want? Anyway, I need to have just a sit down convo with you all, but like also something changed within the last like week as well. That I was already planning on doing a thing, and now I'm kind of like, oh, maybe the thing that I was planning on doing needs to be bigger than I originally planned because things happened. We'll see. I've got a lot of logistics to work out. Anyway, we will have a conversation another time. Regardless, we should hopefully be seeing Migasa back here next couple weeks, optimistically. Keeneland should be opening soon. Indiana open soon. Belterra open soon. So more than likely we will see her somewhere in that zone. Fabulous. Anyway, until next time.